The Awakened Brave speaks freaks and mutations. Long-term viewers will be aware that I don't shy away from acknowledging the freak show in any description. And let's just say, for instance, when I ask what is a human being, where does a human being begin and where does it end? Well, let's start with the physical aspect. Is a human being a creature born with no arms and legs? Is a human being born without a full functioning mental capacity? You see, this is a great philosophical question. What is a human being? Where do we distinguish between a human being and something that isn't? Something that may have some sort of mutation, some weirdness about it. You know, there's been lots of so-called human beings born with all different sorts of things. If you look at, let's say, videos of India about thalidomide, that drug that caused, legs to be grown out of necks and all different sorts of weird shit. Well, are they human beings when they just have stumps for feet and clubs for hands and all that different sort of thing? You could say, yeah, they'd come into the classification of human being if they're mentally sound, and I'd be inclined to agree with you on that. Even if you've got people that are born without no arms and legs, but mentally they are the same as you and I, then they would demand their own human rights, the same as the next man, because they've got that ability. And so how could you deny that? You can't say, you don't have any rights, you've got no arms and legs. And then this person could be brought in like a stump and sat down on a bench in a court, and he could say, look, the reason why I'm demanding human rights is because I'm a sentient, conscious human being without arms and fucking legs, right? So the judge would go, yeah, it's a fair cop, gov, and you'd be awarded your humanism. But if you couldn't vocalise, speak for yourself, if you don't have any powers of cognition, then is that a human being? So yesterday, I'm coming out of the gym, and at the same time are a bunch of these mentally and physically impaired creatures. And they're all in wheelchairs, and they've all got their individual minder. There's a whole fucking army of them, and they've got a huge big minibus, and of course it costs trillions and trillions, every year in every country around the world, because we have got this mentalism at this moment in time that they're all human beings and they've all got value. Well, I don't think anybody's really took into account or questioned what actually is a human being, because these things that I saw, without being crass and demeaning, and there are hairs all over the fucking place, and the only time it's ever going to get brushed or washed is if some fucker else does it. And one dude, he looks about 35, and he's as skinny as a rake and been wheelchair bound all his life probably. He's holding a dirty, grubby little puppet doll, and I don't know what the puppet doll was. It looked like a female rag doll sort of thing, and that's the level of his mentality. What's that? 2 years old. 2 years old. A 2-year-old consciousness in a 35-year-old body. Is that a human being? If you asked him what his name was, he'd probably flip out his dick and start beating off, because he'd have no awareness that there's anyone there, and flap, 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 and just no. It's not the time for that, little Timmy. You got to put your pecker away, mate. We'll let you play with your pecker at pecker time. You know what time pecker time is? Yes, when we put you in your fucking rubber room at lunchtime, and then we all fuck off and have a fag and this, that and the other. Yeah, that's fucking tiny pecker fucking Timmy time. And so is that a human being? I don't think that's a human being. And I don't have any level of agreement with keeping them alive. You could never ask them, what variety of human experience are you having? Because they couldn't compute that. So therefore, they obviously aren't human, are they? They may look, broadly speaking, like they have some sort of resemblance or semblance to a human being, but they're not human beings. And so, you know, when you've got whole armies of them being fucking, you know, took to the swimming baths, and do they have any consciousness about that? Is there any difference between when you are feeding them and they look like they're enjoying it, they look like they're enjoying themselves, and then when you take them into the swimming bath, and then the carers will go, look, little Timmy's enjoying himself. Well, evidently he's got a boner on. No, not now, Timmy. You know, these mentally impaired folk, you know, they've got a funny thing with masturbation, haven't they? They just fucking flop it out as and when. They've got no problems about that. And so all these carers, the first thing they must learn about is like, look, this masturbation thing, right? You never know when it's going to happen. You've got to keep them peeled because it's going to be at the most inappropriate time. You could be in the fucking leisure centre cafe and you go to get a fucking sandwich and a cup of tea. You come back and little Timmy's going flap, flop, flap, flap. Oh, fucking hell. Ricky Gervais. For those of you that ever watched Ricky Gervais's Extras, oh, that dude is just fucking genius. And he says, I don't care. He just says it, and he still fucking says it. And he's a fucking multi-millionaire, so he fucking can. But you know, in Extras, he did stuff about fucking midgets, about people with cerebral palsy, about school and all this stuff. He fucking nailed them all. And we have the right to, people. We do have the right to, because these freaks, you know, years ago, 1700s, 1800s, they used to be paraded around the fucking country, around the continent as a freak show, putting them on display. You know, and they were actually called freak shows, and they carry them around in a horse and cart fucking cage type thing, and you know, Elephant Man and all that different sorts of stuff, and the woman with the beard, all different sorts of freaks. They are mutations, they are freaks. And I'm pretty sure that in the old days, it appears anyway from the research that I've been doing into these freaks, that lots of them were complicit in it, because it's the only way they're ever going to be able to put hand to mouth. They were going to get looked after, they were generating money, and so they was always going to be kept alive because they were valuable. Otherwise they wouldn't be valuable, would they? And so, like Elephant Man, when he was discovered in his fucking cave, you know, effectively hiding away from the whole world, until this fucking doctor or whatever discovered him and brought him out and made a gentleman out of him. For those of you that have seen the movie about John Merrick. So what is a human being? And don't we have the right to notice the difference to speak about them and to make fun of them, not to them, because you couldn't really make fun to them. I mean, if I went up to one of these dudes in the wheelchair, down the gym, and started going flapping, my imaginary cock, I don't think he'd take offence, to be fair. He might just go, ooh, fucking pull his zip down and fucking join in the party. I think he probably would. But no, I don't think they would have that level of awareness. What level of awareness do they have? You see them, and that's how they are. They're just fucking 24/7. They're not human beings. And so when you get people like Ricky Gervais and me making fun, it's not like, I want to round them up and do what that German dude did. What's his name? Heffler. Hofer. It began with that H anyway. That meanie, that German guy. He rounded them all up and I think he boiled them down and made soap out of them or something like that. So I heard. No, I don't want to do that. I'm kind of like, I just look at them and go, is there a God? If there's a God, there's a fucked up God. I don't think there's a God, really. I don't think there's no benevolent and loving God. Or maybe these creatures are placed within our societies so to bring out the endearing facet of the human being, the love and the compassion, and then you could say, oh, there is a God, because look. And when you look at these people, these carers, they're all so kind and nice, and then they've got the tissues and they're wiping all the sluggy bogies from the noses, and look, they're wiping their asses as well, people. They're taking them to the toilet, they're holding their cocks, they're wiping their asses and all that. I'm sorry, not my bag, not my thing. And if people are going to be doing that and then think to themselves, well, I'm really kind and somebody's got to do it, and I'm all the better for it, well, whatever. That's all I can think about it. But we reserve the right to speak about it, to make jokes about it. Why should, let's say, if 1 in a million are these unfortunates, then why should the remainder of the million, which is almost all, be confined? They can't see no evil, they can't hear no evil, and they can't speak no evil. Go fuck yourselves, that's what I say. Because I don't think the whole world should be contained and restricted and all the rest of it imposed upon them for an exceptional minority of fucking freaks. Why should freaks rule the fucking world? That don't work. What? In whose mind does that work in? You see, and the freaks could never be upset by it because they don't know what you're fucking saying. It's only the people that kind of like have these misfortunate creatures, they give birth to them, and then they go, oh, you're talking about my son and my daughter, and they get all personal and emotional about it. Well, they should grow up. Because you should say to them, well, look around. That's 1 in a million. Okay, so what do you want the other million people to do? Not notice, not look. Look, there's nothing worse than people being ignored. There's one guy in the gym, right? And, I think he's a perfectly functioning bloke, except he's a paraplegic. He's in the gym with his super skinny legs in his wheelchair, and he never looks at anybody because he's embarrassed, and he knows not to, because he knows that everyone's going to be embarrassed to look at him, and nobody treats him like a human being, not a single person. And I tried to catch his eye, actually, because I was going to say, are you alright? How you going? You know, just have a little bit of chat, just to recognise the human being there. But he's so used to people looking embarrassed and looking away and pretending that he's the elephant in the room, that he just puts his ear plugs in and he looks down all the time. What sort of life is that when he knows that everybody around you think you're a freak show just because your legs don't work? Fucking bizarre that is, isn't it? So what am I saying? Freedom of speech, people. We should have our freedom of speech. And if it hurts some people, it fucking hurts. Bee stings hurt. Step on a fucking piece of glass, that hurts too. Do you want to abolish glass, you fuckheads? You fucktards? Do you want to kill all the fucking bees on the planet? Oh, the bee stung me! Me! I hate those cunts. They've got such a fucking self of importance. I just want to go, do you know who you are? You're fucking nobody. But you're everybody. You're God. That's the thing, isn't it? We're all God. Even the freak shows are God. There's got to be a freak show if there's going to be perfect human beings. Of course there is. Everything. It's all God. And so, okay, well, we accept it. Doesn't mean we have to be blind to it. Doesn't mean we can't talk about it. Yes, we can. And soon, people, the revolution's gonna begin. And we're gonna be taking back our freedoms. And all the trolls are gonna come out from under their bridges. And are gonna commence with their wicked ways. Anyway, there's some more fungi here, people. Want to see what it is? So, what are you little dudes? Anybody know what they are? Ooh, hello. And whilst I'm here, you see, I came by here 2 days ago, and there were just a couple of these little shaggy ink caps, like that. And then all of a sudden, you know, they've all matured, and of course people have kicked them over because that's what they always do. You know, instead of getting down and looking and picking at one and examining it and maybe taking it home and looking on the internet, see what it is. No, the only thing that the ignorant, stupid asses can do is kick them to fuck. Just break them because they don't understand what they are. And isn't that just the height of ignorance? And people, you think, and some of you will get upset because I'm calling the vast majority of people fucking retards. Well, isn't that just a retarded thing to do? Oh, what are they? Boot, boot, boot. And then that's it, they're destroyed. And they're no fucking wiser knowing what they are. It's fucking dick wipes. So, what have you had today? You had a bit of Mr. Nice Guy. You had a bit of Mr. Nasty Guy. You fucking deal with it. That's life, people. That's the yin and yang. That's the authentic awakened brave. Very, very rare these days. Authenticity. Well, you've got one splidging of it here with the Awakened Brave channel. And there, on average, is about 200 people out of 8.5 billion who watch my fucking videos. They're the figures we're dealing with, people. They're the figures we're dealing with. So, well, I've had a lovely day on planet Earth, enjoying all the fruits of Mother Earth, Gaia. You know, I'm breathing the oxygen from all the trees, and I'm out there mixing with it. I've got my staff which is connected to the earth, which sends that connection straight through into my body, because when we're walking with shoes, people, We are insulated from the Earth's electromagnetism, so we have to have a connection. So this is a natural resource. This connects, and the electricity can travel through it and into my body. So I'm connected with the Schumann resonance of 7.8 hertz, which is the resonance of the cosmos. Yes, people. But for all of the Muppets walking around in shoes and never go barefoot, you're never connected, are you? You see how it is, people? You see how it is? And so due to my connection with the electromagnetism coming from Gaia, stimulating my brilliant brain into speaking about all these wonderful subjects that nobody dares broach. They just don't dare broach. Here you go. Now these little babies are edible, and I've ate them on several occasions, but the only thing is with them, they deteriorate. They just fall all soggy and into a mushy mass when you cook them. And I've tried cooking them without any oil or butter, but due to the moisture in them, they just lose their integrity. And they're nothing special to taste, and so there's no point in doing it. But I've got a couple of morsels in my bag, and I've forgotten what family they pertain to, but generally they're an edible one, and they're very, very nice. They look like oyster mushrooms, or the other thing that they look like funnel troopers, only I think they're a bit early for the funnel troopers, but they're the same family as those. White caps and white decurrent gills. Beautiful they are. I'll make a little video of them later. Anyway, on the homeward bound journey now.